in studio. There is a
all sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, and some more. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes. We know what's happening in the league. All sports, all plays, ASAP. Cause we know what's going down with your team. We'll bring you up to speed ASAP. Not talking about Rihanna's baby daddy, it's the network covering every play that's happening in the ring, on the field, on the courts, on the lane. We gon' cover the game, all sports, all play. All sports, all plays, ball courts, pump fakes, crossovers, and some more. All sports, all plays, ballparks, home base, miss that speed by, that's 3 strikes.
one of the things that we had talked about was availability, and Bill Belichick is famous for that. Is your best ability is your availability, and Darius Garland had not been available pretty much the majority of this season due to his toe, his I believe it was his left toe, and he had surgery on that toe coming out of the season. It didn't really give him any problems last year until the playoffs. Then going after the season ended, he had surgery on his toe. Then he came back after a few months, and then he injured his right toe. Did I say his right or left? Well, he originally injured his left one, right? And then he injured his right toe. So, obviously he's had some issues. He really hasn't been able to play. He really hasn't been able to contribute. And I think the Cleveland Cavaliers saw something later down the line in which he wasn't going to get better anytime soon. So they felt that the best thing that they possibly could have done with Darius was to deal him. So, ladies, I want to get your thoughts about the deal for Darius Garland for James Harden. Straight up deal, pretty much, for the most part. Any, mini, money, mo.
You can go first. That you liked it even less than I did.
Ooh, Stacey?
I wasn't here for it. I'm not here for it.
Okay.
I thought it was. We did need somebody, but I don't think Garland is going to. Harden is going to be the answer.
Okay. Kate, where you at?
I'm hopeful, but I don't know. I feel like Cleveland is this place where professional athletes go to die. I got Greg Kemp, post-traumatic stress disorder, post-traumatic trade disorder, whatever you want to call it. I've seen too many of these guys come here at the tail end of their career, and we're expecting playoff magic, and it's not happening. So I don't know. I'm going to try to be optimistic, but I feel like I'd rather have Darius on the bench injured. I know what I had with the other components, with all the other guys that were playing. We'll see how he fits in with this team. Only had 5 games before. Now we're at the All-Star break, right? So he had a little time to start figuring it out and filling and getting to know people. So
yeah,
we'll see. Time will tell. That's my mantra right now. Time will tell.
Yeah,
I just hope he does.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just hope he doesn't mess up the chemistry that the guys already have going. I think that's going to be key for them to go forward, is the chemistry that they already had. I don't know how he fits into that. And I don't know what that looks like down the road come playoffs either. I don't think it's going to be beneficial, but only thing I can be was like with Kate, optimistic. I'm not happy about it at all, but here we are, and he is here. So I also just think of every time he get mad in a temper tantrum, he demanding a trade and all of that it's just too many factors for me that go into this. So we'll just see. It's game
I will say, for me. I have told everybody who will listen that Jared Allen is too soft. He's been a whole different man the last 3-4 games. I don't know what somebody did to his Wheaties or what it is. He's been the Jared Allen I've always wanted him to be the last 3-4 games. So if that's because James Harden's here, and if maybe he's got a little bit of edge now, I don't know. But if that keeps up after the break, I won't complain.
Yeah, I mean, he had a career high 40 points in a game not too long ago. But one of the reasons why I think, Cleveland possibly run this trade is because you have a tested veteran. Now, he's never played in the finals before, but he's been there and he's been past the Eastern Conference semis. And that's something that was needed. There's a leadership that's needed. I know James Harden comes off as an enigma. So I completely understand that. And people are trying to figure out and get to know who he is. The other day after the post game, Donovan Mitchell, excuse me, Donovan Mitchell said that this team is hooping off of vibes right now. And last night after the game, I did ask James Harden, did he feel the same way? And, I said that this is a small sample size, but it's only been 3 games, but how have you been able to fit in what appears seamlessly? And one of the things is James Harden makes other players better. You see Sam Merrill was able to go off for 32 points last night. I missed the dunk. I heard he dunked. I'm like, I got to go back and watch that on the post game. But I figured veteran leadership, he's one of the top 75 NBA players of all time. He pretty much can score at will. One thing I've always been jealous and I couldn't stand about James Harden was he was always able to get free throws. And it's just the way that he contorts his body and figures his body out against other players where he always drives free throws. So he's always able to get them, which enables him to score even more. So, he's averaging 26 points a game. So that's something that you're going to get where, Kate, you mentioned Darius Garland. Darius Garland isn't playing, and we don't know how long Darius Garland is going to be out. And this team is in a window of which Kobe felt like this team had to win now. And that was the way that, their goal was to start playing after the trade deadline, after All-Star. And they want to make a push for the East. Right now, the East is kind of wide open. They're 7 games out from the Detroit Pistons. But, within a game or two of being in second place in the division, can they catch up to Detroit? Like I said, of the Cleveland Guardians last year, who was 15 games out in July. They can catch up. They can make it. I believe the Cleveland Cavaliers can do so as well. They're only 7 games out. They still have half of a season to play. I believe that they can compete with Detroit for the division and go into the Eastern Conference playoffs as the number 1 seed. It might be a tough battle with the way that, Detroit has been playing, but you see the potential that's there with the addition of James Harden. Now, Donovan Mitchell doesn't have to do it all, and he's been doing it all, and I'm sure he's tired of it. So now you got some help for him.
But you can't discard Stacey's point about this is his 5th team in 6 years. Why he keep moving? What is going to happen in that locker room that's going to make him unhappy and he's going to want to leave? Like, he knows Donovan Mitchell. He knows all the players on this team. I'm assuming he had to agree to the trade.
Yeah, he had to agree.
Yeah, so he's here, but I don't know. It's like you rented him for a year. We'll see. If we don't get to the playoffs, he ain't on this roster next year.
Well, there's
that's
an
the only
extra
reason
incentive.
you brought him in. And if we don't get to the playoffs, I'm going to call it a wasted trade. And I'm going to wish I had a healthy DG back next year.
Well, the incentive for James Harden as well is starting 5. Everybody mentions on Netflix that he had mentioned on the starting 5, the woman he dated was like the first time he's ever been in love the way he is. And they do have a new child together, and she lives in Detroit, so she's very close. Obviously, she could have moved out to LA for some reason. She didn't, but she's from Detroit, so she's even closer for him to be able to get to. So that was one of the things that I heard as well while he was so, amenable to coming to Cleveland to be closer to her. So
I believe I can fly.
And these women ruin their lives. Nothing good happens from it.
Well, he said this is the first time he ever been in love like this.
We'll go all the way back to Tiger Woods. You get married and they ruin your lives.
And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but LeBron is watching the situation very closely, and LeBron is going to be coming back to Cleveland next year. So
I'm not excited about that at all.
Rachel, you're
and I understand.
You're crazy.
I'm
You
just
wish
saying
for
that's
that every year, and it's not
I
going to
do
happen.
not. I do not. I don't want LeBron. LeBron scored 11 points against the Cavs when he was
And
in
he
town
ineligible
a
right
week and a
now.
half ago.
Yeah, he
Huh?
not playing, and he not playing right now.
Yeah. So, I'm just saying that this sets it up perfectly for him to retire in Cleveland, the place where it all began, and also contend for another championship. I'm not saying that the Cavs going to go out and win another championship because you got to get past the Oklahoma Thunder. And right now they look really good and they look like they are ready to repeat. But things are setting up for LeBron and Bronny James because Bronny is a package deal and Bronny will probably play a lot in the G League, but things are setting up for LeBron to come back home and play where it all began, have his farewell tour, his accolades, his billboards, his best wishes
Don't
from
make
everybody
me
else.
nauseous, please.
I just thought they got DG's picture off the side of that building pretty quick. I was sad
The
watching
next
that on the
day,
news when they had the guys up there
the
taking
next
them off.
day,
Listen, is
yeah,
Bronny that good? I mean, it's got to suck
no,
that your
but they're a
dad is
package
LeBron
deal.
and you're getting
His
compared
little
to him
brother is
every,
better
and
than he is.
they're not the same player. They're not the same size. They're not the same shape. That's got to be the worst in any sport or whatever, to have a dad that's that good that you're going to get compared to and named after, because it ain't bad enough that you're going to get compared to him. You got the same name.
Wait till that
Michael
little brother
Jordan's
come
son
in.
sucked too.
That little brother is better than Bronny. Wait till
That's what
that
I
one come
always
in.
thought.
Yes.
So
Bronny
maybe
gonna have
And
a
his
Bronny will
nervous
keep the
breakdown
attention
when he
off
come
him.
in.
Yeah.
and his team got down the other day. They were number one in the country and they lost. I forgot the team that beat them. I think it might have been like Kentucky or something that beat them. Well, no, it was Kansas, I think. That went out to Arizona and beat them. So they're no longer undefeated. But Bronny is the better player of the two sons. What's the youngest one?
Bryce is the better
Bryce.
player.
Yeah, Bryce is the better of the two, and Zuri
Mhm.
is a volleyball player in her own right. But yeah, so but they're a package deal, and Bronny probably will be at the Charge a lot, and a lot of those games will be sold out, and it'll be an opportunity for a lot of money to come into the city, just like when LeBron was here before. But obviously, guys, we know it'll be different. I mean, LeBron's still good for like 22 to 25
1,000
27
tickets
points or
sold.
something like that, huh?
His ticket sales are higher than his point scoring
Yeah, yeah, but
because people
it's
That
are
gonna
part.
be
still
must.
paying to watch him play. I get it.
Yeah, it's gonna be must see TV. It's gonna be his last year in the league because I definitely believe it will be next year. The injuries are starting to catch up. One of the things is he's never had any major injuries in his career, but the wear and tear is starting to catch up. He's played the most minutes, the most games, in the season, and the miles have a lot of tread. The tires have a lot of tread on. Sorry, what is the expression I'm looking for? The
Yeah, tread
tires
on
have
them
a
tires.
lot of
Listen, this
miles.
is the right situation for him. If Kenny Atkinson is still doing his, rotation with everybody playing under 40 minutes or even under 35, this is the right place for him to end up. No other coach is going to do that. Has a bench big enough to let him rest. He needs to rest. He's played a lot of minutes, not just game minutes. Think of all the playoff minutes he's played
Yeah,
in his career, all the
yeah.
extra games that other people haven't had to go through.
Mhm.
He's getting old.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Father Time is undefeated, y'all. I went to sleep normally, and I don't know what happened. I woke up, my arm is hurting, or whatever. It's been hurting all day, and I'm like, I didn't do anything. I didn't injure myself,
You
but
slept
it's
wrong,
been,
girl.
huh? I know,
You slept
right?
wrong.
But normally the pain would be gone. Like I'm still in pain like 12 hours later. So I'm like, I don't know what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that happen, things that LeBron probably didn't anticipate because, he takes care of his body. He spends over $1 million
He
a year
takes
on his
very good.
body.
That's one thing he
Mhm.
does.
But this is just part
Yeah.
of the aging process. So I really
Yeah.
believe next year, we'll hang it up because as I discussed on this program prior, he is not the type of person that's not going to make a retirement announcement and not go on this farewell tour and not see how much other cities and other players and other teams have appreciated him and his illustrious career. So, but you guys, I know, like it or not, He'll be back in Cleveland next year. I'm like 90% sure.
All right. Time will tell. That's
So
all I'm gonna keep saying. Time will tell.
yeah, I know, but this is a prediction that I have. I'm stick to it until I know otherwise.
Okay.
But how do you feel like this team is looking going into All-Star break? Because we are at the All-Star break. Jalen Tyson is going to be participating in the not the skills the competition, but the Rising Stars game, and then Donovan Mitchell is going to be participating in the 3-point shooting contest. So right now, I feel like this is a bad time for this break to happen. While this team seems to be playing really well, they're 9 out of the last 10. So that's a great thing. They had a great road trip in which they went 4-5, losing that first game to the Phoenix Suns. But how do you guys think this team is playing overall going into the All-Star break? Kate, we'll start with you first.
I mean, they're on a 5-game winning streak. That's how you want to go into a break like this. But I don't think the break stops the momentum. I think they were looking at that finish line, and they were like, let's finish strong before the break. And I think they need this break. All the new pieces they got coming in with Harden and what's his name? Schroeder? Is that the other one?
Schroeder.
Schroeder. They need this break now, and maybe they'll spend some time together during the break and kind of get to know each other off the court. Maybe that'll help gel a little bit. But I think it's a good thing that the break came now. I don't think it's, a lot of times I'm like, oh, the break came at the worst time because we were on a roll and then it crushed it. But I think they were fired up for that mid-season finish line, and this is a good thing. I just don't understand why the All-Star break's the same week as the Olympics. Like, you couldn't shift the schedule a little bit, do it a little earlier or a little later. Miles over there in Italy, having himself a good
Girlfriend got a silver today.
Did she?
Oh, she did.
Mhm.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just barely
good.
missed the gold.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's
Yeah,
cool.
Stacey, what are your thoughts about this All-Star break coming up with the way that they're playing right now?
I agree with Kate. I feel like it is much needed. Right now is a good time for it. I just really hope that they figure out a get to know you. That's going to be key coming back off the break and playing. I'm just real concerned about their chemistry and this shuffling around that they got going on. So I really hope that they take this time to get to know the person that's sitting next to them on the bench.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
As we call it in our world, a few team building exercises or something. Dinner, lunch, something. What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
Something, like.
What's your favorite side dish on Thanksgiving?
Right.
Bring
something
the wives and the girlfriends and the kids in and have a picnic. Do something.
Yeah, because
we'll see.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
And I like the defense that this team is playing right now too. One of the things that's still plaguing them is, offensive and defensive rebounds, but some of the defense that they've been playing as of lately, is pretty good. Dennis Schroeder, him coming in and being just pesky. It's only been a few games, but he's always been known to be a pesky defender in there. I think inspired others to help turn their defense up. So the way that they've been playing defensively has been good because they're going to have to learn how to play defense, especially when it comes to advancing in the playoffs. They're going to have to be more physical because they've been out physical the past 3 years in a row, and they have to be able to move, further in the playoffs. So, defensive uptick is something that this team desperately needed, and it's enabling them to be able to win games. So I'm kind of, sick that the All-Star, game is happening during this All-Star week, but also this team needs rest after coming off of a pretty tough road trip out west. Their bodies need to readjust to the time zone and things like that. So, congrats to Donovan and Jalen for, making the All-Star week festivities. That's pretty cool for them.
I agree.
Anything else about the Cavs?
Not really.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I'm really excited about them though. I'm really excited. I know y'all against this James Harden thing, but I think it could potentially be a very good thing for this team. If things look at the way Stacey looking at me. I see you, Stacey.
I'm just saying, listen. We all hope for the best. We ride and die for these teams. We love the CLE. But at some point, you just have to say, like, enough is enough. Like, when are we tired of being tired? Like, who is making the decisions in the front office? I personally feel like this is a young team, and you bring in this old attitude, like tantrum attitude, to mix up a chemistry that we already had. I rather just Garland that kept sitting on the bench, and if his pinky finger hurt today, then I'd rather his pinky finger hurt and he can't play than to have to deal with this nasty attitude and a tantrum tomorrow. Like, you sometimes just have to pick your battles. And I think this was a different battle that we picked to win. But we're here. So we're going to see. And I'm going to see when, down the stretch, what the playoffs look like. I'm going to say that. Now, I don't think it's going to look good, but I'm going to see.
Yeah. I always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't got to be the smartest guy in the room all the time. Just let it ride. And they were broke, but they weren't, in my opinion, broke in a way that means that you needed a different person. They had the right people and the right talent on this team, even with DG on the bench. I don't know that Kenny's getting the most of the talent out of the guys that we already had. We talk about the Browns needing a wide receiver because we don't have one. There is nobody to catch a ball. We talk about the Guardians needing a pitcher or needing this, that, or the other, because you need that person with that talent. I don't know that the Cavaliers needed. They've got veteran experience with Donovan Mitchell. I don't know that they needed a different body in that locker room. I think they weren't getting what they should have been getting out of the guys that were already there.
And then one thing I'm just going to say, because we say it all the time, it could be coaching. It could be the coach is not pulling out of them what we need, and the expectation isn't of standard that it should be, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Now, that's just something that's just been twirling for a little while with me. Like, Kenny, you good, but you not great. And I just feel like we could be getting more out of them as well. So it could be coaching.
And when I look at the standings, I know, Rachel, you said we're 7 games, but we're 7 games back of the Pistons, but we're only in 4th. Like, it's not like 7 games back and we're down at 10 because the Pistons are that far ahead of everybody else. Good luck to the rest of the East trying to catch them. Unless they get an injury or something happens, like, they are widening that gap. And that's, not something James Harden's going to fix.
I think they're going to compete.
Okay.
I believe I can fly.
I love good basketball. I hope so.
Well, Stacey, I said, that the Cleveland Guardians were going to catch up to the Detroit Tigers, and they ended up winning the division. This was in July.
In the first round of the playoffs. Rachel, you got me all excited to win the division.
They made it.
They caught Detroit and then lost. Detroit got the last laugh. Detroit sat home and said, we sat back and rested and took our time, and y'all got to sit at home for the playoffs like everybody else. So,
but I
don't know.
Kate, you can also admit I said we wasn't gonna go far if we made the playoffs.
Oh, I know,
and that's gonna happen too. So
So anyway, did you watch the Super Bowl this week?
I got one more thing to say.
Oh, go ahead.
About the Cavs. So, Stacey, do we have any documented things about James throwing tantrums or getting in trouble or anything?
He throw a tantrum at every team he had. That's why he been at how many teams in the last how many years? He got to go.
5 in 6.
That's a good tantrum.
I
he
think
demands a trade and all of that. So we go. Sometimes the common denominator is you. It's not them. It's you.
He's an enigma.
Okay. All
right, go ahead.
That's like somebody telling me, oh, yeah, she getting married. This is her 4th marriage. Oh, no, the common denominator is her. It ain't them. It's her.
I'll be trying to figure out how can I get the text back.
Like, What?
Fourth marriage. Can I get a text? My
Right.
God.
So like, yeah.
I'm like, what do you do? Teach me your secrets.
Listen, the only person making money in that situation is her divorce attorney.
Yeah.
Period.
All I'm saying.
Like literally.
That's true. All right, Kate, you was talking about the Super Bowl.
Go Seahawks.
I said
Yeah.
it from day one.
I hate the Patriots. I got through the Belichick and Brady years. I still don't like them. Don't like Drake May. He's Tom Brady 2.0.
On his way, ain't he?
Yeah. They got lucky a lot during the season.
They had an
with
easy
those
schedule.
wins.
They was
They
just
did. They
getting
got
by.
lucky against Denver, and then Denver by losing Bo Nix. The sad thing for me is the Bills. This was the Bills year, and they completely choked. And maybe Josh Allen shouldn't have got married and had a baby. I'm gonna blame it all on that.
So
I
I
don't know what's going
said
on.
the same thing. I felt like the Bills beat themselves. Like they should have
Yes.
won that game against the Eagles. I feel like Josh Allen should have walked out the door with McDermott, because you were just as responsible for that loss, if not the one responsible for it. Now, they did get some heck of a PI calls in that playoff game,
Mhm.
but that cost them. But he sometimes makes some very bad decisions. Like, you have a full team and you don't have to run, you don't have to be a fullback, and you just get to play. And sometimes he just thinks he's a fullback and you get to run him instead of throwing the ball. So yeah,
There's something about that draft class, because he and Baker Mayfield both do the same thing. They feel like they got to take everything on them, and they overdo it, and they don't trust their teammates to do their jobs, and then they make those mistakes that cost them games.
It's that level of arrogance for me that drives my soul to the roof.
Yep. So I understood the McDermott firing. I called John Harbaugh. I called Mike Tomlin. I don't know why Zach still has a job in Cincinnati. He has wasted all of Joe Burrow's years, and I can't believe he's the only AFC North coach that is keeping his job
right
here. Right. I called the McDermott leaving because McDermott could not control Josh. He could not corral him. Joe Brady did a nice job as OC. He tried to give Josh a little bit of running plays so Josh would feel like — he reminded me of back when CC wanted to hit the ball. So he went to he wanted to pitch and hit. So he had to go to the other side of the league so he could hit.
He did have a
Josh
home
wants
run,
to
by
be
the way.
Lamar, and Josh ain't Lamar. But this was the Bills year, because let's face it, they haven't been able to get past the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs fell apart this year, and the Bills should have been like, this is our opportunity to take over the AFC. And they gave it away to a team with 4 wins last year. Shameful. And it's hard for me because my Browns suck so bad. I cannot imagine us going from 3 wins or 5 wins to 14 wins, because that's not how we do here. Maybe I'm just jealous and just so frustrated. But
right.
Seattle, I thought, looked good in the preseason. I didn't think they'd look as good as they did look.
Looking good on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
They had everything. They had defense, offense, special teams. They did not miss. They were prepared and ready.
Yeah, what it came down to, the single thing it came down to for the Seahawks was, again, that quarterback class of 18. Is Sam Darnold going to blow it? And he didn't. He didn't make the mistakes that he made with the Jets, that he made with the Vikings. He didn't turn the ball over in the playoffs. He's finally figured out.
It over all season.
Right. He's finally figured that out. And that was their key to winning. As long as he didn't do anything stupid, that team was going to be fine. And people didn't trust him. That's why so many people were putting money on the Patriots. They're like, Darnold can't do this, because they saw what he did in Minnesota and with the Jets. And he proved them wrong. And now he's got a Super Bowl ring. He's the first one in that class to get one. Josh Allen ain't got one. He ain't even been. Sam Darnold's been and got a ring. So in talking to my girl Dana, they're bringing almost everybody back next year. They are going to have to be the favorites to repeat, because they are bringing almost everybody back. Some of their best talent are in their first and second year. That team's going to go on a run in the NFC. So I'm glad we're not in the NFC. The AFC is still up for grabs. who knows if Kansas City's going to come back, and how they're going to be next year. And plus, you got all those teams with brand new head coaches. It's going to be,
Mhm.
we're going to have a whole lot
Mass.
of teams going to the playoffs at 9-8
Right.
Mhm.
Very much
instead of
so.
just the one from our division and the one from the
Yeah.
NFC South, or the two divisions that sent a 9-8 team to the playoffs. Just embarrassing. And they got
Well, yeah, so I'm very
pretty
happy
crazy.
that the Seattle Seahawks won as well. I feel like the Patriots got enough titles, and I have Patriots fatigue at this point. So, Mike Vrabel, it would have been great to see him win a title. He never won one at the Ohio State University. So it kind of would have been cool to see him win a title. He's an Ohio guy, Ohio coach.
They gave him Coach of the Year. He's fine.
He won
Yeah,
one as
so
a player, so
Right.
yeah, so
you know.
I'm good. I want to Seattle to win. Their defense was just because I'm like, this is a boring game. Like I started doing other stuff. I'm like, this is
I
boring.
was asleep at halftime.
Oh, was
We
you?
were
Yeah, it
texting,
was.
I texted my girlfriends. We were like, first team to 12 wins.
And
I got
Seattle
nervous
got
when
12.
JSN went out, but they fixed him up and sent him back on the game. I was so happy
Right.
for him.
Right.
Yeah, and
Love my Buckeyes.
offensively, New England had no answers for what the defense was doing. So hats off to
Clearly,
Seattle.
they did not watch film because all they had to do was watch the 3 times that the Seahawks played the Rams this year. Those were their 3 closest games. The Rams know how to beat them, and the Seahawks got it done in the playoffs, which is why they got it. But if they'd have watched the Rams film, it would have been a different game. I'm like, I don't know how you don't pay attention to that. But we also need to shout out A.J. Barner, had the first touchdown in the Super Bowl for the Seahawks from Aurora High School. Only the second person from Aurora High School to make it to the NFL. And what I loved is when they did the introductions at the beginning of the game and everyone says what college they went to, he said he was from Aurora, Ohio, like repping where his hometown is and not what college he went to. And I thought that was pretty cool.
A lot of players from Ohio do that, and I absolutely love it because it builds that connection,
Especially
and
the
saying,
small
hey,
towns
I'm still in tune with my hometown and stuff like that. So I love like when they
We
say,
had 3
their
guys
high school.
on. We had 3 from Ohio on the Seahawks.
Oh, really? I thought it was just 2. It was 3.
It's 3. Yep.
Okay. And shout out to Jackson Smith and Jigba having a national championship last year and then a Super Bowl this year. Talk about, the pick, talk about the luck of the draw, being drafted to a team that was ready and built to win, right now this season. So hats off to him. Them rings will be nice in his ring case. So, but yeah, great Super Bowl. I love the halftime show. I thought it was very, very visual, even though I didn't understand anything that was going on. I missed Lady Gaga. I missed Ricky Martin. I don't know how. I guess I was just so intent on trying to follow it. I missed a lot of key things in the story. So I missed Cardi B.
Got married. There was an actual wedding performed.
Right.
And the cool story behind that was they asked Bad Bunny to come to their wedding.
Their wedding.
Said, no, but I got something else for you. And that was to get married at the Super Bowl. So that was super cool. I guess
it was like a little Broadway musical.
Yeah,
kind of theater at its. I don't know what it had to do with football fans, and football players, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sad he had to wear a bulletproof vest, though. That just shows you how low that we have came in this country, where he has to wear a bulletproof vest to perform during the halftime show as well as the Grammys. So, that sucked, but, we're all looking forward to, another season that will be here, sooner than later. They get going in June, right? So,
we got combine coming up.
Combines in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kate, are you going again?
Yep.
Yeah, Stacey K had me working at the combine, man.
There's 3 of us going this year. It's too much. It's too much for me by myself. It's a lot for 2 people. We're taking 3. So we have the combine. The draft is in Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go to that.
I'm going to the draft.
Can't wait to see. Todd Monken was not my choice for coach. Was not even on my list. Can't wait to see
what was on your list, Kate.
Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator from Buffalo.
Okay. Who
I
was on
wanted to
your
see
list,
what he could
Stacey?
do with Shador.
Harbaugh was number one on my list.
Mm.
I did have Brady on my list, and I was hoping that we would have interviewed Brian Flores.
Yeah, I would have liked to have kept Jim Schwartz, and I think they did him. It feels like they did him dirty. It feels like they only interviewed him to keep him busy while other teams were hiring people, and then they waited till
Ah,
there weren't any jobs left to be like, "No, we're going to go with someone else." I
I
I
wasn't
really like
interested
him,
in
but I
having
wanted an
him
offensive
for
head coach.
coach, though. I wasn't interested in having him as a head coach. Now, definitely would have loved to keep him as a DC,
Yes,
but I also feel like the Browns handled him wrong. Like they should have had, but like we do everything else, it should have been better communication around that.
yep.
But I thought that they were having the conversations that we wanted to keep Jim Schwartz on staff with whoever they interview, but I think they just should have had a different conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I didn't want him as head coach either, but if that was the only way I could keep him, that's how but I really believe in Shador, and I believe he needs the right coaching. So I wanted an offensive minded head coach.
Correct.
We'll see who the OC is going to be. I want someone who is really going to coach this kid up and get him and give him the shot that he, if the weapons and everything he needs to be our quarterback. And so that's why I wanted the coaching search to focus on offensive folks. We'll see. We'll see what happens at the draft. If they end up drafting a quarterback, we'll know that they don't believe in him.
I hope not, because it ain't like this is a great quarterback class, and Mendoza gonna go to the Raiders anyway. You know what I mean? So
yeah, Mendoza's going to Las Vegas. He's 6'3" or something, and then the rest of the guys are short. I've done short. I'm not doing short anymore. If you aren't over 6'3", I don't want to hear from you. I'm done.
None, Rachel,
none. My girl Lisa was at the Senior Bowl, and Matt Diego Pavia, whose paperwork all says he's 6 feet tall, she's 5'11", and she looked down at him when he had his shoes on. He's 5'10" if he's an inch, and they're all pretending he's 6 feet tall. It's ridiculous when you stand next to these guys. And then she's got scouts in the field in the stands telling her when she made a comment about it that she's just measuring the height wrong. Dude, there's only one way to measure height. You stand in your flat feet and you measure to the top of your, you don't add 3 inches, gentlemen. This ain't 6 inches. I don't know why we let guys measure anything anyway. They can't. They don't know what they're doing. On that note, I got to go. I don't want another short quarterback. I don't want to draft a quarterback.
I don't either.
We still got to deal with Deshaun Watson is still on our books and is still on our roster. We've still got to sort that whole thing out. So I don't need to add anybody else to the mix. I don't. Oh, they're going to sign. There'll be 5 quarterbacks in our locker room in July. But
we'll be playing spades again with them.
All right. I love you, girls. I'll talk to
you. All right,
later.
Miss Kate. We'll talk to you soon.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have fun. Have a great weekend. Yeah, so going back to the Browns coach Todd Monken, I want somebody that's going to play the Shador strengths, and I fully believe that he's going to coach the Shador strengths. One of the things is, the Baltimore Ravens wanted to draft Shador coming out of the draft, but Shador, and I guess I completely understand, didn't want to sit behind Lamar. Because Lamar has a lot of years ahead of him of playing football, playing good football, playing at a high level. And, I believe that one day, the Baltimore Ravens will eventually be able to make it to the Super Bowl behind him. So he was going to be sitting for a long time. Aaron Rodgers did that behind Brett Favre, but how long is too long? A year or 2, yeah. Same thing happened, with Patrick Mahomes. He got to sit for a year or 2, but you know what I'm saying? Shador would have been in a situation where he was sitting for a long time. So I kind of understand that. And, one of the first things that, Todd Monken said to Shador is, we tried to draft you. Shador knew that, but he, he just laughed and, brought him in for the bro handshake and stuff like that. So I kind of didn't mind Jim Schwartz. I was just exhausted. I was just exhausted, Stacy, and I kind of didn't care past a certain point where all these jobs kind of started to be taken, and we still didn't have nobody. It was kind of terrifying and petrifying for me. I don't know. Then they talk about things being leaked about having to take tests and all that other stuff and the analytics, and I was just like, let's just get to playing football.
And it
Let's make
was, and they did. So when Andrew Berry gave his opening speech before Monken did his first press conference, he explained all that, and they did have to do essays and homework and personality test and all that. And I'm like, to coach a 0 and a 3-0, a 3-12, 3-15,
okay, girl.
like
What?
like I can't even get the numbers
What?
right. Okay, yeah, he explained all of that. Like, yes, they had to do all of that to coach the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But and talking to a lot of people from the Ravens camp, they feel like Monken is gonna be good for Shador and developing him. They said that he was key in developing Lamar the first couple years. Rachel, I don't know. He was here before, and I just have heard stories, and I don't know. We all grow up, we all mature down the line, and I'm hoping that's the same for him. Again, he's here now. He just I'm a loyalty girl, so I don't know. My understanding, we playing in Paris this year against the Saints. That might be the only game that I might attend for that, but
girl, you going to Paris?
We'll see.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'll go. I don't mind getting my passport stamped now. I don't mind that at all. I just wasn't going with them then. But Paris,
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah, I got some stuff that I can buy while I'm in Paris now. Yeah. It's gonna serve a couple purposes. The game is just a bonus.
Voulez-vous lécher à m'asseoir?
Yeah, we don't do all that.
Girl, I know that's right. That'd be amazing if you were able to go. But I'm just right now we're in a wait and see mode with this team. We have to, and that's one of the things. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have nothing. So you want a coach that's going to be tailored to working with this quarterback and having Shador be the best he can be.
Now, let me ask you this though.
Yes.
Do you feel like Shador is our answer?
Yes and no.
Okay, that's fair.
I feel like you can get more out of him. I feel like you can get that Colorado Shador that beat TCU, that beat Colorado State. I feel like, you can, that elevated the program. He's made every program better. Could he improve as a quarterback? Yes. There's a lot of improvement opportunity there, not holding on to the ball as long, watching, with the footwork, the blind side, he didn't have a good rookie year. One of the things is the offensive line. I could see why he held on to the ball too, because your receivers couldn't get open. They couldn't get separation. And when you had to make plays and you down, you had to throw the ball. So he wasn't put in advantageous situations offensively to be able to really show what he can do. At times when the offensive line did do their job, it fell on the receivers who didn't catch the ball. David Njoku is about to go. Bye, David. I'm never been a fan of him, because all he cared about is how much he looked and never catching the ball. So, it's time for them to part ways. And, his replacement showed up first day of training camp and was a hungry dog and was ready to go. And you saw what Harold Fannin Jr. was able to do. You see the potential there and the opportunity, he will have to improve. But, you lost your job to the number one. The number one. And they were talking about one of the I forgot what tight end is from Baltimore, not Mark Andrews. They extended Mark Andrews, so it would be the other tight end, their backup tight end that would be a good replacement for David Njoku from Baltimore. I forgot what his name was, but he worked well with Todd Monken as well. So have somebody come over from Baltimore who's used to winning, playing at a higher caliber, that would be great as well. But David Njoku, I've been saying for years, I'm ready for him to go because he can't catch the ball. Jerry Judy. So we're picking 10th, I believe, in this draft. So
6 and 21, I believe, in the first one.
okay. I
20 or
believe
21. I know it's number 6 is our first one, and then the second one is 20 or 21. I had looked at it. I had just looked at it, honestly. Um, but yeah, I know it's one of those for sure.
yeah, because I'm sorry. I feel like you got to go receiver. You improve Shador, but you don't improve the weapons. I believe if
Correct.
Carnell Tate is still there at 6, you take him. And then you can do something, about offensive line and stuff like that. But you have to get receivers before the third round of the draft. And that's something that I think they saw as a value position and they can get, a quality player after, but it hasn't worked. And they
So
haven't
we
taken
are at
anything.
6 and 24.
Okay, 6 and 24. Okay.
Yeah, 6 and
Okay.
24 in the first one.
Okay. So you take Carnell if he's still there at 6, and then you take an offensive lineman at number 24.
We
I'd be
definitely
okay
take
with
an
that.
offensive lineman.
I'd be okay with that.
Me too.
So and
So
then
go ahead.
I was saying, and then try to get some in free agency. But there's no way this team is going to be able to win or do anything if they don't dress this offense. Defense, you're good. They don't dress this offense in the way that they need to successfully and hit on this draft. Andrew Berry won't be sticking around with this team very long.
No, and I feel like he did good last year. This rookie class was good. But it's not a cure all. And now we need he got to focus on the offense. Um, I personally, right now, today, don't. I'm not sold on Shador being our answer. I also don't feel like you need to draft someone. However, again, I also do feel the same way. Like, by the time he got into play, you didn't have no O line to play with. Everybody was hurt. You was on the second, third string playing with. Judy don't catch balls and Joku can't catch a ball. Like, they was bonuses
Mhm.
really when they caught. So I'm not sold on that. I would like to see then though what he looks like getting reps with the ones after he's developed and worked through the summer
Mhm.
and all off season coming back, what he looks like. I don't know. Let me say this. Deshaun looks good. I also know how Deshaun plays. I don't want to see him as
You mean
all
his
the
body looks
starting.
good?
So I've been watching his workouts. You know what I'm saying? His footwork, all of that. But he fragile as a flower too. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna go out there to run. It get cold. That shoulder gonna get stiff and all of that, and it's gonna be over. He don't play well in the cold. This ain't his system. So I don't expect to see him in the long term. I expect to see him doing more mentoring for Shador, and I appreciate that. I don't want them to get no quarterback in the draft. I would rather see them, if they got to pick up one of these veterans, let them sit in the back somewhere and go on. We need an offensive line.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Deshaun Watson is trying to start again?
Yeah, you ain't seen his workouts.
Look, I'm sorry.
You
I
don't
can hold
follow his
that
IG
clipboard.
page. Have you not looked at his IG page lately? You don't follow
No,
his workouts or nothing?
no, I haven't been. No, not at all.
So Rachel, your homework this week is to watch the Shine page. He is full glory, more glory, and he is working like he going out there and play tomorrow. I
Uh,
watch him every day. Yes, he is. He is of the that he gonna play for the Cleveland Browns tomorrow. Today he was out somewhere wherever it was warm, working with a Cleveland Browns helmet on. Today.
Oh wow, this is a
Go to
conundrum.
look at watch his IG page. I'm just saying.
He only got 1 year left on his contract. I just sit up there and hold the clipboard and say my legs ain't ready, and hold the
Me
clipboard
too,
and
personally,
retire.
I would do that. As much money as he got, I would be cute on the sidelines with this in a Browns jogging suit, with this in the wintertime with a jacket on, with with the with the tablet and the thing telling you
Right.
what place you need to do. That would be me personally. But I've been saying that about Russ. Somehow in these guys' mind, they need to play. Okay. Now he's working out. He's working every day. He's working with someone. He is working out. You get to see his footwork, his throwing, and everything. His shoulder look good. His feet look good. He out there. Check him out. If I lived in a different city or something and I was one of them teams, I would be like, go get this shot over a Gino or one of them like bum quarterbacks. I would take him over there. Not in the CLE though.
Yeah. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I'm done. I'm over with it.
Now I was all in on him. I really was, Rachel. I just don't feel like he has it, and I'm tired of seeing them do the booing and all of that. What comes with it brings down the morale of the team. That's why I'm not for it, because that brings the team down. If we had people if we were maybe in a different climate, had people that had sense and some structure, I don't know what kind of coach this is going to be for them, then it might be different. We'll see. These people make bad decisions every day. Them brown and orange people make bad decisions every day. So we just going to see.
Yeah. God. Now I got to go look at this website.
Yes. Every day. Look at it. It's a new video. You are going to see it every day. Look at this page. You're going to see. I'm just saying.
My God. I'm just like, I guess so. I guess I'll take a look and see what he doing and stuff like that. But it's only 1 more year left, and after that, I don't think he's gonna play football ever again.
Yeah, maybe he'll go somewhere, coach, college, high school, something like that. He probably would be a good quarterbacks coach because he's good. He's just not good, these last couple years. Like, you don't know that you're going to get injured. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know he was going to be injured back to back. He didn't.
Yeah.
Like,
and before he got injured severely with his arm,
his shoulder, correct,
pretty good. Yeah, his shoulder, he was playing pretty good, and
then he came back and went down with his ankle. Like, it's no different than Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb went down, we rallied, and Chubb came back, and he went down again, and they was like, out of here. They wasn't willing to take the chance on him. Like, you just don't know.
See, that's kind of what's happening with Darius.
I would have rather had Darius than go on and have James Harden. He could have still been on the bench. We still holding on to them. We held on to Nick. We held on to Deshaun. What is wrong with the Cavs? Why did they hold on to them? Our other teams hold on to them. We hold on to the players on the brown and orange. What's wrong with the Cavs? They like, shoot. Let's go get somebody else's trash. I don't know.
Darius was one of my favorites, so please don't, get that twisted.
I feel like I like Darius.
He was super nice to me.
Some people his family is super nice. I have done business with them. They are very nice. I would have rathered him be on the bench talking about his pinky toe hurt or his finger hurt. I would have. Y'all know I don't care nothing about these beard, these bad braids, and all of that that's running around.
Girl,
I don't care. I I don't.
So I'm sad. I'm sad that he's gone. But 1 minute left. So congratulations to Layla Edwards being the first Black woman to score for Team USA in women's hockey. So that's
Yep.
wonderful. And
And
then
they play
catchers.
tomorrow.
Yeah, and they play tomorrow, so I think they win in the goal because Team Canada was their main rival, and they whooped them 5-0. So
They
I'd
whooped
say
them.
they're gonna win the gold. So I'm excited, to watch
Okay.
the men's, hockey against Canada. So that's always a nail biter. But also too, pitchers and catchers report today for the Guardians. So we'll be doing more Guardians talk as we get closer to the season. But Stacey, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. Thank you to Kate. And anything else? Anything before we go?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. And if you have off for President's Day, have a good 3-day weekend. So, Stacey, do you have off for President's Day?
I'm off any day that I want to be off.
Okay, I know that's right. I'm trying to be like
I
you,
am.
girl. Show me your secrets. Like I said, these people that's been married 4 times, show me your secrets.
Right.
Shoot,
Yeah, I'm
what
off on
sorcery
Monday.
is this?
Yeah, I'm off on Monday.
All right, y'all.
It's
Y'all been
family
listening
day.
to her in the huddle. So for myself, for Stacey, we are out of here. Yeah, we getting out of here. We gonna play some okay. I don't think okay. We can just end it like normally. All right, Stacey, talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.